Hola YouTube, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Darieny, and if you're new here, bienvenidos. I hope my camera is straight, and also sorry for the lighting. The lighting here is not the best, and also I am being a little bit quiet because my coworker is literally behind this wall. We are right next to each other, and it is actually 12:41 a.m. I'm tired. Just got out of an 8-hour flight from the States to Poland. So, whew, bear with me. I'm gonna try my best to keep this video short, simple, cute. One of the main questions that I get a lot is, how do I become a flight attendant? Well, I'm here to answer that question, and I want to set the record straight. A lot of people actually do not understand the importance of a flight attendant. A lot of people get our job duties misunderstood. A lot of people actually think that we are on the aircraft to help you with your baggage and to serve drinks or food. Wrong. We are actually on the aircraft mainly for your security. You will actually be surprised to learn that we had to go through intensive training to be able to handle different situations on the aircraft. That's what we are mainly on the aircraft for, not just to be there looking pretty, serving drinks, or helping you with your baggage. Okay, so on my flight, I actually had a little bit of time, and I was able to write a few things that I wanted to make sure that I mention. But to become a flight attendant, it's very simple. You research an airline that you may want to work for, apply, and go through their process. And I always have to set a disclaimer. Every airline is different. Every airline has a different interview process, and every airline has a different training. And I believe I sort of explained this, or I briefly touched on this on one of my last videos. If you haven't watched it already, make sure you go watch it after this video. So a lot of people think that you can just go to like a flight attending school and then be okay, or be all good to go to be a flight attendant. I personally do not recommend that anyone pays for flight attendant training, because just because you have that training does not exempt you from going to an airline's specific training. So in my opinion, I think it's best to go to the training that your airline is offering you, because during that training they are going to provide important information to be able to fulfill your duties with said company. Like I say all the time, every company is different. Now, if you want to pay for flight attendant training just to get, I guess, the gist of the job, hey, you do you. All right, so how do you become a flight attendant? Like I said, research the company that you would like to go for. If they have open applications, you apply. Different airlines, different application process. If you get selected, you go through the interview process. Once again, different airlines, different interview process. Upon successfully completing and going through each and every interview process, you then go to the training. Once again, depending on the airline, depends on the length of your training, whether you get paid for training or not, where your training is, and so forth and so forth. So make sure that you do your research. I always advise research, because that will kind of give you a hint on what you may be getting yourself into. Now, one of the, I don't want to say hardest, but one of the most intensive or extensive parts of becoming a flight attendant is the training. I wrote down some of the things that you typically learn in training. Obviously, I did not think of everything. I was doing this during my break on my flight. So, training topics that you typically learn during training. First and foremost, you always going to learn an overview on your company, then the company's policies and procedures. You also learn passenger handling. With that, you learn about customer service as well, because the way you might deal with a customer at a restaurant or at a supermarket or any other business is very different than how you would deal with a passenger on the plane. Other things that you have to learn: airport codes and military time, because more often than not, whenever you get a trip assignment, you are going to see the airport codes that you are flying from and to, and the timing is typically in military time. So it's important that you know that as well, unless you want to be researching every single time where you're gonna go. But to make it simpler for yourself, you can just familiarize yourself with the military time and the airport codes. Typically, at least in my 2 experiences, you are tested on those as well. Another thing that you learn, and this is a big part of your job, is learning your aircraft. I cannot say this word, familiarization. You have to know each and every aircraft that your airline uses. You have to know which emergency equipment are on said aircraft. You have to know the emergency exits. With each type of exit, you also have to know which type of slide may be attached to said exit as well. What else did I write down? Emergency equipment, that's a huge thing. Emergency procedures, for example, planned and unplanned landing, planned and unplanned ditching, which is a water landing. You have to know how to handle those situations, and let me tell you, they are no joke. You also have to learn first aid. You also have to learn your announcements. That's a must. Oh, actually, I forgot to write this down, but it just came to me. With planned and unplanned landing or ditching, you also have to know your commands. You pretty much have to know your commands for almost any and every emergency, and trust me, there's a lot of them. Also, international procedures. Typically, if you are flying for a regional company, you don't dive too deep into international procedures, because more often than not, you may or may not go to international countries, and if you do, they will be limited. But you do get to learn about international procedures. You have to know the pretty much the rules and regulations of other countries. You have to definitely learn how to dispose of trash in different countries as well. That's important. Being able to bring or take food from or to other countries as well, that's also important. What else? Flight attendant duties and responsibilities, that's a must. If you don't know what your job entails, hey, you can do the job. Security and dangerous goods, that is also a must. The aviation world has changed a lot after 9/11, obviously, so security and dangerous goods are a big part of your training as well. There are other topics, I couldn't obviously think of all the topics, but these are definitely some, if not some of the important topics that you do learn about in training. And like I said at the beginning of this video, flight attendants are not just there to look pretty or to serve beverages or food on the plane or to help you with your luggage. Technically, depending on the company that you work for, dealing with luggage is like at the very bottom of our job duties. When you are a flight attendant, you wear a lot of hats. We are counselors, we are parents on the plane, we are firefighters on the plane, police officers, paramedics, and that is just to name a few. Think of any and every emergency that can happen in everyday life, but on a plane, we get trained to deal with those things. So I do understand that being a flight attendant can be seen as a glamorous jobs, because we do go, you know, from place to place, from country to country, or state to state. But it is a very important job. It is a very serious job, and I wish a lot of people knew that, or a lot of people took that into consideration and appreciated flight attendants, pilots, first officers, just all of us as a whole. But that's a topic for another video. I believe I covered most of the information that I wanted to provide. Obviously, I did not cover everything because I am trying to be more mindful of the length of my videos, but I believe that I gave useful and important information as well. Always research, research, research. Research the company that you want to work for, and make sure that it's something that you want to get into. Like I said, us flight attendants, we wear a lot of hats. Also, learn about how flight attendants get credited for their work hours, how we get paid, because that is also another important topic. I believe I have a video that covers that briefly as well. If you haven't watched it, go watch it after this video as well. And I'll leave it right here. I am tired, you guys. It is 12:57. I need to sleep. But thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you're not subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Ciao.